All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining on. Happy to have you all here, and we're going to go through some really awesome, some really good stuff today. So another workout Wednesday. We do these every week, give or take, around this time every Thursday. So be sure to set a reminder, or I'll let you know on social media. But let's go ahead and jump right into what we're going to be talking about. So we are going to be talking about Workout Wednesday. How have successful products performed? Week 4 in 2022. So Luke Stanky's got this great dashboard that he's got us looking at by successful products. So he defines a successful product as a year-over-year continuous learning or continuous profit, right? So the profit is positive every year for every year in our data. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to compare that. We're going to compare those products to the rest of our products. So that's what we're going to be focused on today. So let's dive right in and just get right to it. So he said he's connecting to the Superstore data set. So that's what I'm going to do. Superstore data set. There we go. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out how to capture these products, right? Hello from India. That's awesome. Thanks for joining. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, if you wherever you're joining from, let me know in the comments. Let's see where we've got people listening in from. So the first thing we need to do, we need to figure out which products have positive profit for all 4 years of our data set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a calculated field, and I'm going to call this all profit, for lack of a better word. And it's going to be a conditional statement. So if I'm going to hard code all these, just because it's easier. I'm sure that there's a way that we could make this dynamic, but for the purposes of this challenge, let's just hard code this, because he didn't tell us not to. So if the year of order date, and I know that this goes back to 2018, so equals 2018, then return the profit. And we just want the profit. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum the profit. Okay? I'm going to sum the profit, and I'm also going to see if that is equal to 0 or greater than 0, right? So greater than 0. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to repeat this process for each of my other years in my data set. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy these, and I'm going to go ahead and bump these up for the folks looking in, so we can kind of see that a little bit better. Nope, that's the link to the stream. Let's see. All right, so copy. Paste for 2019, paste 2020, paste 2021, get rid of our last and. All right, so now we just need to change these. To each of our years. So again, let's break this down. What are we doing? Well, we're looking for the year of our order date, every single order date. We're looking to see if it's 2018. If it is, let's return the profit, and let's sum the profit. Let's aggregate the profit for the year of 2018. And then we're going to take the sum of profit for 2018, and we're going to see if that's larger than 0. Okay, so this is going to, each one of these is a Boolean calculation, true, false. So I want true here, and true, and true, and true. Right? So this is going to be one giant Boolean calculation. So we'll call that all profit. Now, I can use this new calculated field and I can create a set. So a set is a dynamic, it can be, doesn't have to be, it could be static or dynamic, a dynamic grouping of dimension members within a group of dimension members that you can do lots of different things with. So the way that it's different than a group, so you can go in here and we can say product name, right click on product name, create group, right? These are static groups, right? And I'm just putting these things together. But we don't want to do that. We want to group things. We want to group these dimension members based on some aggregation, right? Some logic. We want to be able to group them. So that's where a set comes into play. So we'll right click on our product name category or product name column, create set. What do you want to call the set? We're going to call these successful products. Okay. Condition. And it's going to be, we're not going to, we could go in here and we could hard code these, but we're going to do it with a condition. And that condition is going to be by a formula. And that formula is all profit. All right. So the product names that are going to be included in these in this product name or the successful product set are only those that return true for our all profit calculation that we just created. So we'll click OK, and now we've got a new set called successful products. Now if we go back and we look at his example, he's got category and subcategory displayed. So let's go and let's start building some of this stuff. So let's go category, bring it out to rows. Okay. Now before we start doing some calculations, let's validate that our stuff is correct. Okay. Let's validate that things are working the way we want. So we know we're going to be doing a % of successful products. So that's the distinct count of products that are successful divided by the count of distinct total products within whatever aggregation they're working in. So we need to create 2 additional calculated fields. This one is just going to be called number of products, and it's just going to be the count distinct, if I can type, bump this up for everybody, count distinct of product name. That's just going to be the total number of products. And the good thing is that as we start making the, as we start to increase the complexity of the view, and we start adding different partitions in there, it will automatically adjust for that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag these out to text for now. So we've got 50 total products in the bookcases subcategory, 88 in chairs, and so on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to count the number of successful products. So number of successful products, okay? And that's going to be it's going to be very similar to the one we just created. We're just going to add that new we're just going to add that set into some logic here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if successful products, and successful products, so sets in general in Tableau, when used in calculated fields, is a Boolean calculation. So we can just say if successful products, then product name, right? So if you're in the set, then let's count distinct you, right? And just like that. And then we wrap all of that in a count distinct. So again, if the product name is contained within the successful product set, then return the product name, then count distinct those. And then we're going to click OK. Now let's do this, and let's add those here. All right, so let's look. Now it looks like we have a numerator and denominator, so we are ready to create our calculated our percentage calculation. So we're going to call this, what does he say? PCT successful products. PCT successful products. And that is simply just going to be the number of successful products divided by the number of products. And because I aggregated both of those calculations in their own calculation, that's why I'm able to get a valid calculation. So quick little tip if you're new to Tableau, if you ever are looking in your calculated fields and you can't quite remember what these calculated fields, what the formula is, and you don't want to have to open up different calculations, different calculated fields because you can only have one open at a time, you can click on any orange field in your calculated field, and over to the left, you're going to get what that calculated field is. All right, so this says count distinct. That's the one we just created. Click on products. That's what that is, right? So that's a really quick, fun tip for you if you've never, if you're kind of new to Tableau and you didn't know you could do that. When it comes to validating your calculations, this can really help seeing those. So I've got a good calculation. Now I'm going to go ahead and while I'm down here, before I do anything, I'm going to change the default number format. So I'm going to right click on my calculated field. I'm going to do default properties, number format, and it looks like he's done a percentage with 0 decimal points. Let's just confirm that. Yep, looks like I don't see any decimal points for that. So we'll go ahead and we'll say, yep, 0% with 0 decimal points. Now that we've got that, we can go then add this to our measure values, and we are ready to start doing some. Now we can start validating on our solution, on the final solution. So we should see, and then what we'll do is we'll sort this by the successful, we'll sort this by successful percentage. So within furniture, we should see 181700. 181700, and then we should see 38 30 30 27, 38 30 30 27. That is enough validation for me. I am good to go. I'm good to know that we've done this correctly. So let's start making our view. Actually, before we do that, let's do. Nope. Yep, we're good. All right. So let's go ahead, and we know that we're going to drag the total sum of, let's look at his tooltips. Figure out which ones we need. So we just need distinct count of products. Okay, so we are going to take our total number of products, and we're going to drop them into tooltip. We're going to take our, we don't need successful. We don't need the count of successful products, so we'll just go ahead and drop that out. So we just need this percent, and the percent is actually going to go on the bar. So we drag that up to columns. Okay. It looks like he's removed the banners for that, or the headers, the column headers. So there's a couple different ways you can remove the category and subcategory headers. One, you can right-click and say hide labels for rows. Another quick tip, if you don't want to do that, you can go up to the analysis menu, table layout, show fields, show field labels for rows, uncheck that, and that goes away. All right. Okay. Now what we need to do is so we've just created, oh yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's go ahead and put our labels on. There we go. Do we have them on all of them? Yes. Cool. All right, so that looks good. Now what we need to do is we need to do this barbell chart that will show us the breakdown of profit ratio by our successful products and our not successful products. So what we're going to do is, and it's by profit ratio. And profit ratio is already a calculated field within the TDS of Superstore. So we just drag that up here. We're going to drag it right next to. That's going to give us a new mark. Things are going to look a little wonky right now. So because it just automatically inherits the previous mark label or the mark type. So let's just let's take that off. Let's not show mark labels here. Let's change this to a circle. So we're going to change our mark type to circle. Okay. And then what we're going to do is drop our successful products set that we created, and we're going to drop that onto color. All right. And that gives us, and then we'll do, profit ratio needs to be formatted as a percentage. And it looks like he's got 1 decimal point there, so we'll do that. There we go. Now we'll go ahead, and he gave us some text, some hex codes to use. So we'll go ahead and take advantage of those. And we'll edit those in, let's see if this one's darker. Come on. Oh yeah, there. There we go. Yep, that one's good. And let's grab our other products. Okay. Click OK. That changed our dots. Let's change our bars while we're here. And we need that first color again. Just like this. More colors. There's that color. Click OK. There we go. Let's go ahead and make this entire view so that we can see what we're dealing with here. Okay. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out a way to get, so we've got the bar, we've got the dots, but what you can see in his chart is we've got a line that connects the two charts, right? So let's do, how are we going to get that? Well, what we're going to do, we are going to duplicate the profit ratio. We're going to change this. Instead of a bar, we're going to have a line. Again, really, really weird right now. That's okay. We need to put something on path to make. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to drag this onto detail. And maybe on path. Yes. So what we're going to do, so the path card is really, really interesting. The path shelf on the marks card is really, really interesting because the path card allows you to dictate how Tableau draws the lines, right? So when we make a line chart, Tableau automatically says, I know that you want to connect these lines by month, right? That makes sense. So we don't need to do that. Tableau will try and smartly figure out the way that we wanted to do that. But let's remove this again. And let's see how Tableau is thinking that we want to connect this line. Tableau is trying to think of, how do we want to connect this line together? You've said you wanted a line mark, but that doesn't really make sense to me. So I think what you want to do is you want to connect the lines based on what you have on rows, right? So the lowest level of granularity on rows. That's how Tableau thinks it wants us to connect the lines. But we have the path shelf, and that means we can do whatever we want. So what you saw before is I added the successful products to detail, and then it did the same thing, only did a separate line for it. It connected the lines for each of the components of the set. But if I drag that set onto path, then what I'm telling Tableau to do is I'm telling Tableau to connect the lines for each plot, right? So for each set within my lowest level of granularity. Now we can remove the labels here. And now that we have this, now we can make this a dual axis. So I'll drag this. So what I did, if you're new to Tableau and you want to make a dual axis, there's several ways to do it in Tableau. One of my favorite ways is to go down to the axis for one of them, hover on the axis until you get this little corner triangle, and you get the little crosshairs. Click and drag the crosshairs up to the upper axis of what you want to make a dual axis, and then just drop it. And then Tableau's like, well, what did you just do? So it tries to do some silly things. So we just need to go back, make this percentage, turn that back to a bar. And we can see right now, if you can't, we'll see if you can see it. There we go. Try and zoom in a little bit. You can see that the line is on top of the bar, right? We want the line to be behind the bubble, behind the dot. So the way that we're able to do that is we can just flip these. We can just flip the order of these two. And when I do that, now you can see the bar is behind the dots, right? The last thing we need to do that I didn't do yet, I need to synchronize my axes. There we go. All right. And there we go. And now I can hide this header because I don't need dual headers. And now we're ready to, what should we do now? You want to do, let's see, let's look at the tooltip. Let's go figure out his tooltips. So we've got category, subcategory, distinct number of products, and percent of successful products on the bars. Good. What does he have over here? In out of product name set, other products, category, subcategory, distinct, count of product name, profit ratio. Okay, so it looks like I need to add count of products to this. There it is. 72 and 16, 72 and 16 with, there we go. And then he changed his aliases. So what we'll do here, we'll, let's see, how can we do this? Right click on our successful product set, right click where it says that, scroll down to aliases. And that gives us an alias for each product. That's not what we want. We want the in and out here to be aliased. So we'll right click on our card, on our set card, our filter mark, excuse me. We're going to right click on our color card and see if we can get axes, see if we can get that there. We cannot get that. How about if I right click on this? Hey, edit alias. Okay, so I thought I could do that, but you have to click on each individual mark here to get the alias. So I'm going to edit the alias. For the in set, we know that these are the successful products. And we know that these are the other products. Just like that. Okay. Let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit. Format. Looks like he's gotten rid of all grid lines and 0 lines. Let's see what else. Looks like that is a little bit, looks like his fonts, looks like these fonts are a little bit darker. So let's go here and let's bump that up. Yeah, that looks better. Let's just go all the way. We'll go all the way up. Font black. There we go. That looks good. What else? We've got, yep, that looks good to me. All right, so let's go create this. Let's see what his requirements are. 700 by 600 dashboard. 700 by 600. All right. And we'll do this. We'll remove this guy. Oop. Come on. Move that guy up here. We will remove the title of our legend. We will give that, give that some space. Remove the title here. Give this a dashboard title. We'll say, how have successful products performed? Okay. And then we just do hashtag wow 2022. Week 4. How have successful products performed? Question mark. Drop this down a little bit more. Bump that up. There we go. That looks good. Yeah, make that centered. I like this. There we go. All right. So there you have it. So that was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What did we learn? We learned about sets. We learned about how to use conditional sets, and then we learned how to use those in calculations. We learned how to make a barbell chart. We talked about the line path shelf, and we did some formatting. So really great challenge, and this was fun. So we'll go ahead and we'll call this one good. All right. So thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed that, and we will see you next week. Thanks so much.